So the objective of today's class is stress control, big objective. Two sub-objectives, identifying emotions, and secondly, learning how to deal with stress. And so this is going to be kind of an interactive class. I will be expecting you guys to help me out with some of the questions. We'll be working through the problems together. Okay, cool. So, icebreakers. This, I've been told, will be spared for a later time because we know each other. So, first question. Can anyone tell me what emotion is being displayed here by this kid? Oh, you do.
Happy! Yay!
Yes, yes. The kid is happy. Second side, we'll be doing this. Just, get into it. What emotion is being displayed here? Annie?
Sadness. Hungry.
Despairing.
Can anyone guess what? Mohammed.
Anger.
Oh, you give that a kid some time to think about it. Marty.
Surprise.
Surprise. Let's see.
So what is the shock?
Really does, guys. The teacher's having
Surprise or shock? Baby boomer! Boomer!
Cool.
No, that's not what that means. Nope.
What emotion is being displayed here? Now.
Fear! Or shock? Oh, you cheated.
Fear.
Cheater!
What about this old man?
Old age.
Stephen Crossman. Oh my god.
I'd say it's
Stress or
worry.
worry? No.
Worry.
Yeah.
Worry.
I think this is the last one.
Okay.
This one's a challenge.
Jake.
Believe.
Alright.
Ooh, we got one more.
Oh, what is that?
That's another question. Alexander.
Kill. Oh.
That's a tough one. Guess first kiss.
Simple man.
Me right
Ouch.
Okay.
The feeling must be exciting.
Tada.
Boredom? Yes. Yes.
And lastly, anyone tell me what Jackie Chan is experiencing right now? Yes, you go ahead.
Confusion?
Okay, so that concludes the first activity of today, identifying emotions. You passed it with flying colors. Alexander, you'll work with it. That's great. So now we'll move on to distinguishing between facts and judgments, which is an important part in counteracting the generation of stress, to stop yourself from knocking yourself down. So in the following activities, we'll be working on trying to differentiate the two and looking at what we can learn from that. So firstly, we've got an example of what is a fact here. The definition is something that can be checked and is backed up by evidence. And for instance, we know that Lionel Messi was named the best football player by the FIFA organization. Can someone else give me a fact? Olive. You got this.
I was born in 1995.
Oh no.
That is a fact that can be
1998.
checked.
Can't be checked. So my identification.
Trust your ID.
Okay, secondly, judgments. What are judgments? Judgments are simply beliefs or opinions, right? And so they are not backed by evidence and cannot be checked. Can anyone give me an example? Edith. No, not either.
You're a 10 out of 10.
Jake.
That's a judgment.
Jake.
An opinion.
An opinion about anything.
That everybody's a faith in wine school.
That is an opinion.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Borderline. That's an opinion. Okay, so we'll be walking through a bunch of examples now, and together we'll try to bone out what is in fact a fact, and what is an opinion,
Alright.
a judgment.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's look at the first.
Who recorded me?
I am wearing a size XL. I am fat and ugly. Can someone tell me which part of that sentence, what's what? What's a judgment? What's a fact? What is it?
The beginning clause, I'm wearing size XL, is the fact, and the second part is opinion.
And what is it that differentiates the two? Why is the first part a fact?
It's true, and the other one is just something someone is thinking.
Yeah, it's still.
It could be true. I don't know. maybe
But if you
not.
look inside the shirt, maybe you'll see the XL sign.
Yeah.
Whereas there is no objective thing you can look for to find that you're fat or ugly.
Are you sure?
It's more of a
Next
gray
sentence.
area.
Survey.
Okay, Han, can you read the next sentence?
I was late to work today, so I am irresponsible. The first clause would be a fact. The second part is a judgment.
Yeah. And could you explain to us why that's the case?
Because there's a specific time of the day where you go to work and it's considered to be on time. Go to work after that, you're late.
Yeah. Precisely. And the third sentence, Hannah, would you do that?
I got a B on my test for the B fact because I'm not very smart.
He's good.
Yeah. And so why is that the case?
Yeah, B is.
Well, getting a B is something you can check. Well, it's B. I'm not very smart. It's really up to your opinion. Like you
Yeah.
said, there's no
Yeah. Super. We'll do two more. I think we'll have enough after that for the video evidence, right? Yeah, cool. So, Ma, you'll do the fourth one.
My friend never responded to my email. She probably finds me annoying. So it's the first part is also fact. The second is a judgment. That's like trying to be based on the first, but it's kind of like one does not imply the other.
Yeah, precisely. And we'll do one last. We'll finish off with the fifth one. Would Marty do that one?
Okay. My husband didn't tell me I look pretty is the fact, and so he must think I look terrible as a judgment.
Perfect. Such a good job. And so, to round off this activity, Alexander, would you maybe summarize how we can tell fact from judgment?
I mean, if we can check something, then it's fact. If we can't, then it's opinion, judgment.
Yeah. Perfect. If we can verify something, then it's a fact. If we can't, then it's a judgment. Great. Let's move on. So this is how to deal with stress. And this is particularly if something very bad has happened to you. Not necessarily the type of stress that we experience here at Minerva, where we have an overloaded schedule, but rather the sort of stress you might experience if a relative died, or if something bad happened to you. And so we'll be looking at a strategy called ACCEPT. It's an abbreviation or an acronym where each letter in ACCEPT stands for a technique that you can use to distract yourself of stress. And that is the overlying goal with this technique. It's distracting yourself from the traumatic event so that you can put distance between you and the event for you to sort of, as we talked about previously in class actually, putting distance and sort of neutralizing the emotional impact of the event, so you can look at it a bit more rationally. So it's about finding ways or techniques to put distance between. Okay, so these are the distraction techniques, and we'll be going through them one by one. It's activities, contributions, comparisons, emotions, pushing away, thoughts, and sensations. Olive, you see that?
Why are we trying to distract ourselves instead of like confronting the stress and
Oh, yes,
moving
yes.
past it?
So that is a great question, and it's something I wanted to tackle on. So the first thing we need to reflect over here is that we are not postponing it forever. We are merely trying to find techniques that can help us get through the initial shock of an event, putting ourselves distance between it so we can look at it a bit more objectively and unbiased from the fear we might, or sadness, or the emotional impact that trauma might have had on us. Time delay. Oops. I don't really know how this works. There we go. So the first is activities. It's finding positive activities that activate you to find something you like. For instance, I can think of maybe making soylent is a good way of distracting yourself, finding something good to work with. Can any of you guys come up with a positive activity that might help you cope with stress? You do? Just something positive that sort of...
Yelling at Olive.
Yeah, fighting Olive. I like that.
Sorry, what?
Fighting Olive. Or like handstands or just like...
Or handstands.
Yeah.
We'll take handstands.
Teaching Olive how to kill.
Or something else. Maybe go watch a movie. Now, do you have an example?
Going for a run.
Go for a run. Perfect. Perfect.
Thank you.
So let's look at the second one. Contribute. It's doing something to help someone else, to help your surroundings, right? And so personally, I can think maybe, making soylent for someone who needs it. Less fortunate than I am. Someone hungry. For instance, just doing something to help someone else. Can someone else think of, an activity that maybe would work that way? Ani.
I have a question. Why would you make someone so happy?
Oh.
It's an example.
It's just an example. Because ultimately, right, this is about finding something that makes you feel better. And if you're living under the illusion that other people appreciate your soylent, then making soylent and giving it to them will make you feel good. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
That's perfect.
You silently funding this whole class.
No, this is just my example. I didn't want to steal anything. So, do you have any examples of what you might do to help someone else? I can think of maybe baking cookies and giving them coverage. Can you think of any examples? Olive.
Teaching them how to kip.
Oh, with the ninja jump.
Yeah.
What?
Nice. Moving on. Comparison.
Can you kip?
This technique is essentially putting your experience in context, in relation to other people's experiences. And to sort of put it in perspective, right? So you can maybe think, someone else is having it way worse than I am. Who am I to, complain about this situation? For instance, here, you could feel that I'm terrible at making omelettes. My omelettes are bad. I don't know, I'm eating eggs every day. And you can maybe just go next doors, come visit me. I'm eating soylent every day. Omelettes aren't that bad.
Is this whole presentation a way for you to ask us to make you food?
No, I actually didn't make this presentation.
Oh, okay.
Every slide on this presentation
Okay.
is made by someone else, with the knowledge that I would be presenting. Yeah, sorry, Mom.
Yeah, it's slightly like more serious question, but this like knowing that somebody else is worse off really help in any way, because it's like
Everyone sat together.
Yeah. No, it's a very good question, and for this, like, I think the core about the accept strategy is finding what works for you, right? And you might be, like, for you this might not work, right? The knowledge that someone else has it worse might not for you, bring yourself up. But if there are those for whom that's the case, that, the knowledge that someone else in fact does have it worse will make you feel better, then you can use that strategy. But this is not something that one size fits all. It's about finding what works for you. Emotions. So, emotions are about sort of counteracting what you're feeling right now. If you're very sad, you might go watch a comedy. Something to make you laugh. Something to evoke the opposite emotion in you. Like we talked about in class this week, yeah? Yes, exactly. So, does anyone have an example of how you might do this? You do.
If you're tired, just like get up and take a shower.
Or take a nap.
No,
No?
because it wouldn't be like
That's
sleep cycle. Oh wait, what?
I mean, power
Isn't
nap
it like do the opposite?
Then it works, you do. It's cool.
Oh.
Does anyone else have an example? What if you're feeling happy? Ideally, you want to stay happy. You don't want to. This is applicable mainly to negative emotions that you don't want to experience. So if you're very fearful, perhaps, what might one do to counteract that? Any examples? Something that comforts you. Yeah.
I will find a friend
Nice.
to accompany me.
Yeah.
Okay, so the push away. This is a bit of an abstract concept, but it's about trying to just mentally compartmentalize the trauma. So if you've experienced something bad, just put it in a box, stuff it somewhere deep in the basement of your mind.
Just like momentarily.
Momentarily.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes. The end goal is to heal it.
No, yeah, almost. It's like going out and buying candy. You just set it up till after dinner. You're obviously going to eat it.
Okay.
Just, have the discipline to not eat it before lunch and spoil your dinner. Spoil your lunch. So, let's move on. Thoughts. And so this is about preoccupying your mind with something else. Now you can do whatever floats your boat here, right? Some people might like to sit down and do maths, because that, clears their mind. Quick maths. Other people might like to, try to remember the song lyrics. Sing on that. Other people might study the nutritional content of soils.
What's the difference between like this and activities? The A.
Oh yeah, so this is mainly mental, right? This is about distracting your mind. The previous one is about distracting yourself by physical activity. There's obviously a significant degree of overlap between these. But it's a different way of thinking about it, and most importantly, making a nice acronym.
Alright.